With that, I'd like to get into an overview of the plan and perhaps begin with a little bit of historical background. The development of this plan actually has been in the works for almost 6 years now, actually over 6 years. And there was actually a plan adopted in 2007, which was then submitted to the Department of Environmental Protection, which is the last stage in the process for approval. When the Department of Environmental Protection looked at that plan, they came back with some questions, concerns, and issues which were, from their perspective, not adequately addressed in the initial plan, which then resulted in further discussion amongst the municipalities and the authority, and those issues, we believe, have been addressed in this update that we're going to be presenting this evening. This plan was prepared, as I said, as a joint effort of all of the participating communities and the authority. The plan was largely prepared by the firm of Spot, Stevens & McCoy, and Carl Dicker from that firm is here with me tonight, and certainly will be available to answer questions as well in regard to that. To begin, the study area is outlined in this plan, and I'll use this to try to summarize the plan. I hope the viewers can see it. In the area that's outlined with the dark brown line represents the study area. Again, it incorporates portions of all of those 4 communities that we've mentioned, and actually it is comprised of what's called the Mill Creek Basin, which is a tributary of the Jordan Creek, certain subbasins of the Jordan Creek itself, and certain subbasins of the Copley Creek. Those of you, of course, from the area know what the development patterns are like in that area, but a large part of that area is either rural, agricultural, or sparsely populated residential areas, and other areas are more typical of what you might call urban development with small lot type development. The area is characterized by a number of existing central sewage or wastewater service areas. There's actually 12 plants within the study area, and those areas on this plan are identified by various colors on the plan. In the core of the area here, when I say the core of the area, that is in the Schnecksville-Neffs area. There's a plant that is typically referred to as Schnecksville North. There's another one at Sand Spring, another one at Little Wolf Trailer Court, another one at the Lehigh County and Carbon Community College. There's also another plant located on the Kids Peace campus. There are other outlying plants in the area. Then Parkland School District actually has 2 plants in the service area, one at Kernsville and one at the Orfield School. There's another one at Fairland Farms, another one at the Glen Crest Trailer Court in Washington Township, and another one at the Heidelberg Heights development in Heidelberg Township. This plan really, as it developed here in the last 2 years, reflects 2 changes from what was included in the earlier version of the plan. And essentially, those changes relate to what I'll call phasing, and also with regard to some additional considerations or analysis we had to do in looking at what are called natural treatment alternatives as an alternative to the conventional approach of building a plant. The phasing issue came about as a result of some of the comments that were and concerns that were raised by the Department of Environmental Protection, as well as some of the communities, and that related to the aspect of the earlier plan which called for a very large service area in the Schnecksville-Neffs area, which would have an immediate requirement for sewering that entire area. This plan, as it has been comprised, actually breaks that sewer service into 2 phases, one which is called a 0 to 5 year phase, or the immediate phase, and another phase which is called the future service area. On this particular plan that's in front of you, the multicolored area, which is bounded by a red line, essentially, as I'm tracing it here, is what comprises the 0 to 5 year area. For those of you that are close enough that you can tell, it's essentially the area which is west of Route 309 and starting on the north from the community college and running southward to Shankweiler's Road and the vicinity of the Kids Peace campus. The future service area is the area that's shown in the brown and outlined by blue on this plan, and essentially covers areas to the east of that on the other side of 309 and to the north of that into the Neffs area. The way that that sewer service would be provided in that area would be via a new wastewater plant which would be constructed on the Kids Peace campus along the Jordan Creek. It would utilize the existing discharge to the Jordan Creek that is now used by a plant which only serves that Kids Peace campus. The phasing of the plant that is proposed at that location would involve the construction of a plant which would initially provide up to 200,000 gallons per day of sewage treatment, and at a later date, as development would evolve and as connections would be made to the system, that plant could or would be expanded to approximately 550,000 gallons per day. And we expect that that would occur sometime beyond the time of the 0 to 5 year phase of the work. Just to give you a few more specifics about the core service area here where the public service is anticipated, there is no requirement under the plan for existing development, that is existing homes or businesses, to connect to the system. If any existing property owner of an existing home or an existing business wants to connect to the sewer system, that would be totally on a voluntary basis, and more than likely would be facilitated as other development occurs in the area in the proximity of those individual properties. In the area, the 0 to 5 year area, again the area in red, connection to the public sewer service would be mandated for all new development, and in the brown area, the future service area, during the early time of this plan, the implementation of the plan, connection to the sewer system would be available on a voluntary basis for, again, existing development or new development, but would not be mandatory for either type of user. As we move into the future phase, beyond the 5 year time span, the service to the new development then in the future service area would become mandatory. The other areas of the plan, and you see many areas of the plan that are actually outside of the areas that are circumscribed by either the red or the blue lines, are designated for continuation of on-lot service. So that any new development that would occur in those areas, or if there were replacement of existing systems, would continue to be handled by on-lot service. And you can see that includes areas both in North Whitehall Township, in Lowhill Township, Heidelberg Township, and over here in Washington Township. So, and the only exception to that general statement that I just made is in the case of those pre-existing systems that are located in those on-lot service areas, such as the Heidelberg plant, the Glencrest plant, or the Fairland Farms plant, or the school district plant. The one other comment I guess I should make here related to the service area, as some of you are probably seeing from your seats, South Whitehall was also included in the study area. However, South Whitehall Township elected not to continue to participate in the plan, and as a result, there are no recommendations being made within the context of this plan for service in South Whitehall. Their existing plan, which largely calls for on-lot service, will continue to be enforced in that community. But again, they will not be approving this plan as the other communities are. I believe that covers the highlights of the plan as it's being proposed to the various communities. Unless there's something else, Carl, that